All right, let's dive into Kolkata. We've got this travel guide, and we're ready to uncover what makes Kolkata so unique, uh, ready to explore the city of joy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Kolkata is a fascinating blend of history, and modern energy. You could be walking down a bustling street and suddenly, bam, there's a centuries-old temple right there. Or you might find a traditional sweet shop next door to, like, a super trendy cafe.
Wow, I love that. That sounds like a city that really embraces its contradictions.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of history, let's talk about a landmark that embodies that blend of old and new, the Victoria Memorial.
Ah, yes, the Victoria Memorial. It's interesting. It wasn't actually finished until 1921. That's like, what, 2 decades after Queen Victoria died?
Really? I didn't realize it was completed that late.
Yeah, it really shows the lasting impact of the British Raj. Even after the Queen was gone, it was like this symbol of imperial power right in the heart of the city.
I can only imagine how grand it must have been during its construction.
Oh, absolutely. And today, it's a museum. It's got all these artifacts from that era, and it's
Mm.
surrounded by these peaceful gardens where you'll find locals and tourists just kind of enjoying the atmosphere.
Sounds beautiful and peaceful. Okay, get your cameras ready because next up is an Instagram-worthy spot, the Howrah Bridge.
The Howrah Bridge. It's more than just a bridge. It's a symbol of Kolkata's resilience, connecting those two sides of the Hooghly River.
I read that it's a cantilever bridge, is that right?
You got it. A cantilever bridge. And picture this, you're standing there on the banks as the sun sets and the bridge is all lit up against the sky.
That's an incredible image.
It's a view that really captures Kolkata's energy. And oh, you know what? If you want a different perspective, take a ferry ride.
Okay, adding that to the list, a ferry ride it is. So we've gone from this incredible feat of engineering to, well, let's journey to a place connected to spirituality, the Dakshineswar Kali Temple.
The Dakshineswar Kali Temple, yeah, right there on the banks of the Hooghly River. This temple dedicated to the goddess Kali. The architecture's classic Bengal school, those 9 spires.
9 spires, wow. The guide mentions another spiritual site nearby, the Belur Math.
Right, the Bulur Math. It's connected to Swami Vivekananda. It's a great example of how different faiths and philosophies have really thrived in Kolkata. It's this city with so many layers, so many stories.
So many stories. Speaking of stories, it's time to delve into history and culture at the Indian Museum. It's supposed to be packed with artifacts.
Oh, it is. It was established way back in 1814. That makes it India's oldest museum, yeah, and one of the largest in Asia.
Wow, that's old.
If you're into history or art, you can't miss it. Think fossils, antiques, ornaments, even mummies and meteorites.
Mummies and meteorites, that's quite the collection.
Yeah, it really gives you a sense of Kolkata's place as this cultural crossroads. There are influences from all over Asia and the world. The guide mentions a famous bodhisattva. Right.
Yes, that caught my eye.
Their collection of Buddhist relics is impressive. That bodhisattva statue is really something special.
So we've gone from peaceful museums and temples to, well, let's switch gears to a place that's always buzzing, Park Street.
Park Street. It's like the heartbeat of Kolkata. You've got cafes, restaurants, historical landmarks, jazz bars, you name it.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Oh, you'd love it. You can grab a bite, listen to some music, or just kind of soak in the atmosphere. And around Christmas time, it turns into this festive wonderland with lights and decorations everywhere.
Now, that's something I'd love to see. It seems like Kolkata blends tradition with modern trends so well.
Definitely.
Speaking of blending old and new, the guide mentions this place called the Marble Palace, a bit of a hidden gem.
The Marble Palace.
Mhm.
Now, this place will take you back in time. Imagine walking in and you're surrounded by all these Western sculptures, Victorian furniture, rare artifacts.
Sounds lavish.
It gives you a glimpse into how Kolkata's elite lived during the colonial era. And then you step outside and you're in this beautiful garden. They even have a small zoo with exotic birds and animals.
Oh, wow, that's something I wouldn't expect. A hidden oasis.
Exactly, a hidden oasis right in the middle of the city.
Okay, I'm definitely adding that to my list. Now, from a place of historical luxury, let's talk about a place dedicated to discovery and learning, Science City.
Science City. It's a fantastic place, especially if you have kids or just have a curious mind. Anyone can enjoy science there. Interactive exhibits, a space theater, a natural history museum.
So it's educational and entertaining.
Absolutely. The Earth Exploration Hall and the Outdoor Science Park are super popular. They're all about hands-on learning.
I bet that's a big hit with families.
Oh, for sure.
All right, from the marvels of science, let's move to a place of peace and architectural beauty, St. Paul's Cathedral.
St. Paul's Cathedral. It's this beautiful Anglican cathedral built in the Gothic style. It's not too far from the Victoria Memorial. It's known for its serene atmosphere, its stained glass windows, and its frescoes. It really makes you appreciate how Kolkata has kept all these different architectural styles from India, from Europe.
A real mix of influences.
Definitely.
It's like this living tapestry of architectural history. And speaking of tapestry, we can't talk about Kolkata without mentioning Durga Puja, right?
Ah, Durga Puja. It's more than just a festival. It takes over the entire city. Imagine these huge processions, these amazingly decorated pandals, their temporary structures they build for the idols. Their whole city is filled with this sense of devotion.
Sounds magical. The guide mentions a place called Kumartuli, and I think it's related to those Durga idols.
Kumartuli. It's a potter's colony in North Kolkata. This is where they make a lot of those incredible Durga idols.
Oh, wow. So you can see them being made.
You can. It's like stepping into a living, breathing tradition. You see these skilled artisans working with clay, shaping and molding the idols. Each one is unique.
It must be amazing to watch them work.
It is. It really captures the artistic soul of Kolkata.
Speaking of souls, well, let's move on to something that feeds the soul food.
Oh, yes. Food. Kolkata is a true foodie paradise. There are culinary delights everywhere. You've got street food, traditional Bengali dishes, anything you could want.
My stomach's already rumbling. Let's start with the street food. What should a first-timer try?
Oh, so many good things. But if you're just starting out, you have to try fuchka, kathi rolls, jalmuri, and telepaja.
Fuchka kati rolls. Those are new to me.
Fuchka is like an explosion of flavor. You have these crispy, hollow purists filled with spiced potatoes and chickpeas and tangy tamarind water.
That sounds delicious.
And kathi rolls are these amazing wraps. They're filled with savory fillings like chicken, mutton, or paneer, all rolled up in a slaky paratha.
I'm starting to understand why they call it a street food paradise. What
Yeah.
about jalmuri and telebaja?
Jalmuri is a puffed rice snack mixed with spices, chopped vegetables, and peanuts. Perfect light snack while you're exploring. And telepaja, that's basically Bengali for fritters.
Fritters! Like what kind?
Oh, all kinds. Vegetable fritters, fish and chicken. They're all crispy and savory and really addictive.
All right, I'm convinced. Kolkata street food is a must-try. But what about those traditional Bengali dishes you mentioned?
Ah, Bengali cuisine. It's known for its rich flavors, the way they use spices. There's nothing quite like it. You have to try some of the classics like masher jol, a fish curry,
I do love a good fish curry. What kind of fish do they use?
often freshwater fish like rohu or katla.
Sounds delicious. Anything else I should try?
Well, if you're a fish fan, you can't miss shorsha elish. It's made with hilsa fish cooked in this amazing mustard gravy.
Ooh, that sounds good. And I see kosher mangsho on the list. Tell me about that.
Ah, kosher mangsho. That's a classic Bengali mutton curry. They slow cook it with all these spices and onions and tomatoes. It's rich and flavorful, a little spicy, the kind of dish that just warms you right up.
Sounds perfect for a chilly evening. I'm adding that to my list. Now, we can't forget about dessert. What are some sweet treats I should try in Kolkata?
Bengali sweets are famous. You absolutely have to try rasgulla. Those are these soft, spongy cheese balls in sweet syrup.
I've actually heard of those, but I've never tried them.
You're in for a treat. And then there's sandesh, which is another popular one, made with fresh chena or paneer. It comes in all sorts of flavors and shapes, and they often decorate it really beautifully.
Wow, I'm already imagining how pretty they must be.
Oh, they are. And if you want something a little different, try mishti doi. It's a sweet yogurt, nice and thick and creamy.
I do love yogurt, so I'll have to give that a try. It seems like I might need to plan a longer trip just to try all the amazing food in Kolkata.
Yeah.
But before we get completely lost in the world of food, I want to ask about some day trips mentioned in the guide. There are some exciting options outside of Kolkata itself.
Oh, absolutely. There are some incredible places not too far from the city. If you're a nature lover, you've got to visit the Sundarbans National Park.
The Sundarbans, that's
Yeah.
the world's largest mangrove forest, right?
That's it. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's home to an amazing variety of plants and animals, including, of course, the Royal Bengal tiger. Imagine cruising through these waterways, surrounded by all this greenery and the sounds of nature.
Wow, that sounds like a truly unforgettable experience.
It is.
Are there any other day trip options for people interested in, like, culture and history?
Definitely. Shantiniketan's a great option.
Shantiniketan. Tell me more about that.
So it's a town about a 3-hour drive from Kolkata, and it was home to Rabindranath Tagore, the Bengali poet who won the Nobel Prize in Literature.
Oh, I've heard of him, of course.
Shantiniketan is famous for its connection to Tagore. It has this rich cultural heritage. You can visit the Visvapharati University, which Tagore himself founded.
Yeah.
You can explore the gardens there. It's a really special place, a place where you can really feel Tagore's spirit.
Sounds like a place that would appeal to anyone who loves art, literature, and nature. I know a lot of people go to Kolkata for the energy of this city, but are there any options for people who are looking for something a little more peaceful, like a beach getaway?
Oh, absolutely. You've got to check out Digha Beach. It's a popular spot for people who want to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city for a little while.
What's it like?
Imagine those long, sandy beaches, the waves crashing gently against the shore, the smell of the sea air. It's the perfect place to just relax and soak up the sun.
Sounds incredibly peaceful. We've covered a lot of ground today, from those grand landmarks and bustling streets to those serene temples and that amazing food. It sounds like Kolkata has it all. What would you say is the one thing that ties all those experiences together? What makes Kolkata so unique?
I think it's Kolkata's ability to embrace its contradictions. You have these ancient traditions existing alongside modern aspirations. It's a city that's both chaotic and tranquil, bustling and serene. It's the kind of place that challenges your perceptions and leaves you wanting more.
I love that description. It really captures the essence of everything we've talked about today. It sounds like Kolkata is a city that stays with you.
It does. It's a symphony of sights, sounds, and experiences. It lingers in your memory long after you've left.
We've explored so much today. Colonial landmarks like the Victoria Memorial, spiritual places like the Dakshineswar Kali Temple, and so much more.
And of course, we can't forget about those bustling markets, those amazing aromas of street food, the energy of Park Street, the peacefulness of the Marble Palace Gardens.
It's been a fantastic journey. You've really brought Kolkata to life for us today. It's like we've gotten a glimpse into its heart and soul.
That's the magic of Kolkata. It speaks to all your senses. You can lose yourself in the mix of culture, history, and human connection.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive into Kolkata, I want to leave you with this thought. Imagine yourself walking those bustling streets surrounded by the aroma of spices, hearing the sounds of laughter and conversation all around you.
Picture yourself standing before one of those magnificent Durga idols, taking in every intricate detail. Then imagine ducking into a small sweet shop and treating yourself to a melt-in-your-mouth rasgulla.
Imagine the feeling of the warm sun on your skin as you walk along the beach at Digha, the sand between your toes.
Imagine all of this and more. Kolkata is a city that truly has something for everyone. Kolkata is a true foodie's paradise. You can indulge in everything from street food to traditional Bengali dishes and everything in between.
Okay, you're making me hungry. Let's start with street food. What should a first-time visitor absolutely try?
Oh, there are so many. But if I had to pick a few, I'd say fuchka, kathi rolls, jalmuri, and telebaja are must-tries.
Fuchka kathi rolls, those are new to me. What are they like?
Okay, so fuchka is like this explosion of flavor in your mouth. They're these crispy little purees, and they're filled with this mixture of spiced potatoes, chickpeas, and tangy tamarind water.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And then you have kathi rolls, which are basically wraps.
Yeah.
Filled with all sorts of savory stuff, chicken, mutton, paneer, all wrapped up in this flaky paratha bread.
I'm starting to see why they call Kolkata a street food paradise. What about jalmuri and telepaja? What are those like?
Jalmuri is a puffed rice snack, They mix it with spices, some chopped veggies, peanuts. It's a really nice light snack to have while you're wandering around the city. And telepaja, well, that's pretty much the Bengali word for fritters.
Fritters? Like what?
All kinds. Vegetable fritters, fish, chicken, you name it. They're crispy and savory. Honestly, they're kind of addictive.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm adding street food to my list. But what about those traditional Bengali dishes? You mentioned those earlier.
Right. Bengali cuisine. It's known for its rich flavors and aromatic spices. You got to try some of the classics, like mashur jol. That's a fish curry, often made with freshwater fish.
I love fish curry. What kind of freshwater fish do they use?
Rohu or katla are pretty common.
Sounds good. Anything else I should try?
If you like fish, you can't miss shorshi elish. That's a delicacy made with hilsa fish and cooked in a creamy mustard gravy.
Okay, that one's going on the list too. And what about kosher mangsho? The guide mentions that one.
Ah, kosher mangsho. That's a Bengali mutton curry, and they slow cook it with spices, onions, tomatoes. It's super flavorful, a little spicy, really warming.
perfect for a cold day. What about dessert? What kind of sweet treats should I try in Kolkata?
Oh, Bengali sweets are legendary. You have to try rasgulla. They're these soft, spongy cheese balls dipped in a sweet syrup.
I've heard of those, but I've never had the chance to try one.
Oh, you're missing out. And then there's sandesh, which is another favorite. It's made from fresh china or paneer. They come in all different flavors and shapes, and they're often beautifully decorated.
That sounds beautiful.
They really are. And then if you want something different, you can try mishti doi. That's a sweet yogurt. It's thick and creamy.
Ooh, I love yogurt. So it seems like I might need to plan a longer trip just to experience all the amazing food in Kolkata. But before we get completely lost in the world of food, let's talk about some day trip options. The guide mentions some interesting places outside of Kolkata itself.
Right. There are some amazing spots just a short distance from Kolkata. For nature lovers, the Sundarbans National Park is an absolute must visit.
The Sundarbans, that's the world's largest mangrove forest, right?
That's right. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You can find all sorts of incredible plants and animals there, including the famous Royal Bengal tiger. Imagine cruising through the waterways there with all this greenery around you. It's really something else.
Wow, it sounds incredible. Are there any other day trips that might be good for people interested in, say, culture and history?
Definitely. Shantiniketan would be perfect for that.
Shantiniketan, tell me more about it.
Well, it's a town that's about a 3-hour drive from Kolkata, and it's the home of Rabindranath Tagore.
Tagore, the poet.
Yes, he won the Nobel Prize in Literature. Shantiniketan is really famous for its connection to him. You can visit the Visva Bharati University, which he founded. There are beautiful gardens there, too. It's the kind of place where you can really feel his spirit.
It sounds like a great place for anyone who loves art, literature, and nature.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people go to Kolkata for the city itself, but what about people who want to relax? Are there any beaches nearby?
Oh, sure. Digha Beach is really popular. It's perfect for people who need a break from the city.
What's it like?
Imagine those long, sandy beaches. The waves are crashing gently. There's that sea air. It's perfect for just relaxing and soaking up the sun.
Sounds incredibly peaceful. We've covered a lot today, from those grand landmarks and busy streets to serene temples and incredible food. It sounds like Kolkata has it all. What would you say is the thread that ties all of these experiences together? What makes Kolkata so unique?
I think it's Kolkata's ability to embrace its contradictions, ancient traditions and modern aspirations existing together. It's a city that's both chaotic and peaceful, bustling and serene. It's the kind of place that changes how you see things and leaves you wanting more.
I love that. It really gets at the heart of what we've been talking about. It sounds like Kolkata really gets under your skin and stays with you.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
It's like this symphony of sights and sounds and experiences.
We've explored so much today, from colonial landmarks like the Victoria Memorial to spiritual places like the Dakshineswar Kali Temple.
And those bustling markets.
Ah,
And the smells of the street food, the energy of Park Street, the peacefulness of the Marble Palace Gardens.
you've really brought Kolkata to life for us today. It's like we've gotten a glimpse into the heart and soul of the city.
That's the magic of Kolkata. It speaks to all your senses. It's such a mix of culture, history, and human connection.
So as we finish this part of our deep dive into Kolkata, I want to leave you with this. Imagine yourself walking through those busy streets, the aroma of spices all around you, surrounded by the sounds of conversation and laughter.
Imagine standing before one of those magnificent Durga idols, just taking in all the intricate details. Imagine yourself ducking into a little sweet shop and having one of those melt-in-your-mouth rasgullas.
Imagine that feeling of the warm sun on your skin as you walk along the beach at Digha, the sand between your toes.
Imagine all of that, and so much more. Kolkata has something for everyone. You might just discover your own city of joy.
It really does sound like a city that stays with you long after you've left.
It does. Kolkata is a symphony of sights and sounds and experiences.
We've covered so much in this deep dive. We've seen the colonial landmarks like the Victoria Memorial. We've explored spiritual places like the Dakshineswar Kali Temple.
And we can't forget about those markets. All the incredible smells of the street food, the energy on Park Street, the quiet beauty of those gardens at the Marble Palace.
You've really given us a taste of Kolkata, a feel for what it's like to be there. It's like we took a trip to the heart and soul of the city.
That's what's so special about Kolkata. It touches all your senses. It's a mix of culture, history, and, well, human connection.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought. Imagine yourself walking those streets, the aromas of spices filling the air, the sounds of conversation and laughter all around you.
Picture yourself standing before one of those incredible Durga idols, just taking in all those details. Then imagine ducking into a sweet shop for a rasgulla.
Imagine yourself walking along the beach at Digha, feeling that warm sun on your skin, the sand between your toes.
Imagine all of that and more. Kolkata truly offers something for everyone.
So maybe it's time to add Kolkata to your travel list.
Who knows? Maybe you'll discover your own city of joy.